I'm Darren Janeski from Big Round Wheel Amusements. Today we're in New York City and we're going to set our carousel up inside of a building. We had a client having an end of the year party for their employees, and it's going to be a carnival circus theme, so what better than to add a carousel into the mix? And they called us because that's exactly what we specialize in. So today we're going to go in from street level and we're going to bring the carousel in and set the whole thing up inside of a building, and you're going to watch us. We're going to need to go up before you tilt it out though, for sure. To move the carousel and transport it in this trailer, we have it turnbuckled onto the floor or with a clevis, and there's a winch on the other side and it secures it. It just keeps tension, and this thing never moves. It's a little bit rough of a ride back here. We usually have to tighten bulbs, and it's a little hard on the fiberglass, but it's definitely the piece that needs to go in last and come out first. And this location and strapping it to the floor like this works really good for us. The top, and it touches the ground, and it keeps the ring from hitting. So this is where it's at right here. I made this jig. This goes on the top of the carousel, and this is what we use to move it around. The carousel has the fiberglass ring at the top, so you can't just lay it down or it would hit the ring. So this acts as a spacer, and it also gives us a point to connect and muscle that thing around and drag it around like it's a trailer. So otherwise, it would be very difficult to roll this thing. You would need multiple like bases to go under it, and things would come apart. This ties everything together and turns it into a little trailer. This is a Ferris wheel mover. We're just using it to move a carousel. We use it to spot trailers. We do a lot of placement with the game trailers when you got to get them just right, or if you have to, we move our slide with it. It has an air compressor on board, so we could release the brakes on a trailer, semi-trailer, move it around. It'll move ball trailers, spindle hooks, or fifth wheels, goosenecks. It moves it all. So it's supposed to move a 50,000-pound trailer around, and we've been right around that mark, and it did really well. A lot of the jobs that we do are like a specific placement or specialty, something unique. We always carry lumber, 2x4s, 3/4-inch plywood. Everywhere we take our carousel, we have this stuff with us, because you never know when there's going to be a curb, a ramp, or if you need to elevate the carousel to make it look a little bit nicer, sometimes we do that. We've built platforms to go around the carousel, wood, custom, painted, you name it, we can do it when it comes to this carousel. Made in Greer, South Carolina by Highlight Rides. It's the HLC 15 carousel. It's not the biggest carousel. It's 21 feet in diameter and about 18 feet tall, 18 and change feet tall. It is so versatile. When you want a carousel, a real carousel, you could put adults on it and children, and we can put this thing, we've modified it, we've done some things. We've had the mast of the center cut down on top, and we flanged it so you can bolt it together, and that gives us the ability to get it through some doors and to transport it in a trailer. The thing I didn't like about this carousel when we first got it is the center is 11 feet tall. So what trailer has 11 feet of headroom? It's very rare to find anything like that. I don't even know if it's possible. So you either have to move it on its side, and there's a gearbox. The gearbox leaks oil, and it just creates complications. I like to move it upright, and that's why we cut the top off. It also helps us get it through doors. So, yeah, it's just such a good carousel, so well built, such a good design, very easy for us to assemble. We're very familiar with it. Everybody knows how to do everything. But when you buy one of these carousels, you buy just the carousel. It's just a pile of parts. And it's the buyer's job to decide how they're going to rack it. So we had to build all the racking. When we built our racking, I knew I was going to need to put it indoors and be able to have the ability to at least do so. So we built everything on rolling racks. So all of our racking comes out of the trailer. So if I want to take it from this trailer, put it in a box truck, I can. Everything is very, very portable and very mobile. This is good stuff.
All right. You want me on mic?
So what we are is we're at a funny point in geometry. If I let this thing down anymore, all of a sudden that link is going to drop. We're not going to have any control over the carousel. So we're going to switch points, and we're going to raise the link up to a higher point. That way the trailer mover is stopping the carousel rather than the point being like this where it can fall. It's going to be back up in a favorable position. So it's just changing the geometry a little bit to make things work to where we're letting the carousel down with the machine as much as possible.
Go back a little bit.
So now we're mobile. So we just pull it in like a trailer. Hopefully everything goes smooth. We're gonna go in through these double doors, pull it down the sidewalk. up on it a little bit to get it to go, but we're gonna have to block both sides of the tires again. And then we go until this touches. More.
Go ahead.
Good. Here we go. So, ball that out.
A little more. There you go.
You and Bubba switch to the other side and hold the plywood. So that's how it's done. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. It's an expensive facility. We can't do any damage. It's just not an option. So there's a lot of things that could have gone wrong that, again, we've done it many times. We know what to expect. We know what's pulling on what and which way to twist everything. And we're thankful that things go smooth. But definitely a lot of things can go wrong. So we got it in. Now, we're a little bit challenged on the height here, so we've got obstacles. So we're going to put our centers up early and kind of bar it into place and raise it up a little bit, get it leveled and get it perfect, and then we'll start building the carousel. But I think it's starting to snow outside. It is so cold out there, windy. We're going to get our horse racks in. Those are the next tallest item going through an average door. They usually don't go in, so we have other options. So if the horse racks don't go in through the doors that we want them to go in smoothly, we have like a hand truck that's been adapted to accept the horses. We can bring them all in individually. It's much quicker to bring the racks in. So we're shooting for that. We got that ground level door. That may be our option, but they're a little bit taller than the base, so a little bit more of a challenge to get those in. But once they're in here, we'll get this carousel built quick. This is the center mass. This is what we had to modify to make the tower shorter so it fits in our trailer for transport. This thing weighs 140 pounds. This plate here is like so over constructed, the gussets, everything. And the steel itself for the axle tube on this thing is almost solid. So the, it's very heavy. The unique thing about this extension is when you're lifting it up to try to put it on the carousel, you can feel the discs squirting out of your vertebrae. That's how heavy this thing is. And it's definitely different. And it's not easy because you're always up on a ladder or we usually carry around a rolling staircase, and that helps. But you are maxing out moving this pipe up there, and I'm usually the one that has to do it. Don't want anybody else getting hurt, so it's definitely a task. And then when we get it up there, the carousel base is going to be a little over 11 feet tall. We have another extension that comes out of that holds up the tent top, And that brings us up to the height, and then we put a flagpole in it, and that makes for the final height of the carousel.
Yeah, we can walk that around and do that. Yep.
Do we have our wooden?
She's asking about.
You want to start on the other side? Right down.
They have 220 extension cords. You don't have to run your
We're gonna put these in, they're called bulldogs. They go in here, so when weight is on it, it doesn't bend the steel down. And it holds everything nice and tight together.
identified, not numbered. So they are identified with names. I guess they have to be identified, not numbered. So the next time
over here, right?
turn it around, we've had it. We just don't put it on.
All right.
Start to line up one of these.
So a lot of these events, it's a formal event, so a lot of stuff matters. The appearance, the ride everything has to be right. A lot of the purpose that we set this ride up here, it's for a wow factor. A lot of it is to be a prop. They're really just looking for something big. Obviously, the circus and carnival element is definitely present. Done a great job here, setting everything up and putting all the props in and the decor. I think it looks great. But having a moving carousel at the job and where it needs to be, I think there's nothing better than that. So I think it was a good move on the client's part to really bring that into the whole mix. So we bring the carousel in. Our area has to be meticulous. It has to look really good, and I think we got it covered. I think we got it dialed in well. But there's a lot of safety checks. Pins, we're going to do all that now. We're going to make sure all of our pins are in. There will be people that are dressed formal. That means that there are dresses, high heels, all kinds of things that we need to cover for safety. We don't want someone stepping off the carousel and catching their heel or their dress. People think that they can come in and sit side saddle. That's not, it's not safe to do that. So we have to be mindful of that. We always have to remind people, hey, you need to sit the other way or anything like that. So there's a lot to cover. Also drinks. We can't have people going on the horses, wine, glass breaking. All these things are things that we need to stay on top of. And we'll do it. We'll cover it. It's just the reason that our client calls us out here, they expect this level of service. So they don't want champagne spilled all over the rides. They don't want sticky mess. They don't want powdered sugar from the last event. These are all factors why we try so hard to keep our rides clean and presentable for these type of events right here. One of the nice things about this carousel, amongst all of this steel framework and function and lights, is the fact that we have an espresso machine inside here. So you never have to go anywhere without espresso, and you can have the espresso properly. So we just push this down and we can have espresso anytime. So all we have to do is just bring the carousel with us. We've got espresso ready to go. More. More. And more. And it wouldn't be proper espresso if we didn't have a swizzle stick with a little bit of brown sugar to sweeten it. So we take this everywhere we go. We have to have our essentials provided for us, and I think we do a good job at that. Now that the setup is done, we've got to fix the lights. A lot of driving. I think we're about 750 miles up to New York, and that's not counting where the carousel came from prior to. It wiggles the bulbs loose. So we end up with missing lenses, bulbs that backed out and fell and broke in the trailer. And I think it's a huge reflection on us if not all the lights, 99.9% of the lights should be present and working on this thing. And without that, it looks shoddy. So it takes maybe about 25 minutes to go over these lenses and lights, and we bring bulbs and spare lenses, everything with us that we're going to need to make this carousel look as good as we can possibly make it look for the client. So we're trying to be considerate of others because they're trying to build some elements where our carts were, so we try to get this out of the way. We're lucky because when we go to places, people are always courteous to us, and it's important that we return the favor, and we appreciate it. We're bringing a lot of equipment in here, and everybody has yielded for us. So anytime somebody says, can you move something, I try to stay on top of it and move it for them quick. And another thing about this business in general is we're not just keeping the passengers safe on the rides. We're on somebody's property, and there's so many other people working around us. I don't like to leave trip hazards around unnecessarily. I try to keep a tidy work area, because a cart or something sticking out in an aisle and someone's not expecting it, that becomes a safety hazard. And it's not what we want. We don't want the other people that we're working with to have hazards or be injured or trip or drop something, break something. So all of that is really important to us.
Money.
So originally we were going to try to find a place for all this racking because it would definitely expedite us getting out of here tonight. But I just don't see any place for it. We tried everything. So we're going to put this stuff. Luckily we can keep our semi-trailer out in front, parked in the road during the event. And we'll probably be 30 minutes to get this racking in. We'll just have to expedite. We'll hurry up to try to not delay the 2 a.m. deadline that they gave us to get everything out of the building. Well, I think we're pretty much ready to go here. The event starts shortly. There's still a lot of work that everybody else is doing, but our end is ready. So, looks good. I'm happy with it, and I expect our client should be happy too. So overall, I think the event went really good. Not only was the client happy, but the client shared that they had a ton of positive feedback about the whole idea of having the carousel in at the event, and they were happy. So that just makes the whole thing worthwhile for us, because it's a lot of work, and it feels good to hear the good feedback from everybody. So one of our challenges was that, you know, it's a party full of adults. We like to limit it to 8 adults on the ride at one time, to not overdo it if it's just adults, no children, because normally the combination of adults and children, you would limit it to 2 adults and then the rest children on average. So we try to be average when it's only adults, and that worked. A few times we stopped the carousel because they were starting to get more people get on it than we could allow, and we just let them know, and everybody was fine. They waited their turn. There was a lot of glassware. Everybody wanted to get on that thing with champagne and drinks, and we put some tables out, and that helped. But often people just scurried right over to get on the carousel quick with a drink, and we had to let them know they can just set it on the table. That keeps broken glass away, keeps sticky champagne and drinks from getting all over. Again, that's something we always worry about, but we have good results. So, yeah, getting out of this place was crazy. Like, all of a sudden, everybody, sounds, tables, everything, everybody was scrambling. I think there was about 200 people in there loading out all at the same time. So it was very, very busy, but we didn't have a problem. We got out, no problem. And yeah, I think the loadout went good. It was a little congested outside, but we tore that thing down and got it out and loaded it in the trailer in under 2 hours. So that was about an hour ahead of schedule. So that is fantastic. We have a great crew, and everybody knows what they're doing, and everybody's fast. So very good. No accidents the whole night, no problems, no complaints, nothing. That means a good night for us.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
It would be a sin if we didn't stop in here. I think it's 1:30 in the morning. This place is open till 2 with pizza slices. This was an easy spot to just walk down. It's at the other end of the block of where our venue was. And the pizza, it's rough not having this pizza. In South Carolina, you don't get good pizza, so it was a treat. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's over.